All right, what up, everybody? I want to welcome you all back to the Soxandsandalspodcast, where society, culture, history, and religion collide, and we unapologetically discuss our worldviews. It's your guy, Emmanuel. I'm back in my living room, whipping it up, and I have a very special show for you today. I have teamed up with the good folks at Portland Sneaker Week and Better Marketing. I've been afforded the opportunity to speak with one of the more celebrated shoe designers of this generation. In 2010, he won Nike's Future Soul competition. He won for not only his dope take on designing a Jordan shoe, but also in part to his layered storytelling, performance insights, and cohesive brand story celebrating Jordan's team roster. In 2012, he placed first in the dress category for the Footwear News' Future of Footwear competition. Then in 2016, he won the entire Footwear News Future of Footwear contest. And now we're not done yet. In 2017, he won the Pensole and Foot Locker World Sneaker Championship, which led to the launch of his winning design the following year. That also led to his current role as the design lead at over both design and product at Pensole here in Portland, Oregon, where he works on collaborative footwear designs for brands all over the world. In 2019, at the first annual African American Footwear Forum in Washington, D.C., he was named by Nice Kicks and Pensole as one of the Future 50. This was a group of 50 creatives that were identified as being instrumental in shaping the future of the athletic industry. And most importantly, he's a husband, a father, and a highly respected man amongst his peers. I present to you one of North Carolina's finest, Mr. Chris Dixon. Chris, say what's up to the people, bro.
Man, what's good, everybody, man? I appreciate that intro, man. That's like, it's like reminiscing, like real fast. But
taking you back down memory lane, huh?
Man, really, man. Like,
Word.
Some of those things I forgot about, man, until you said it. It's like, wow.
Oh man, he done forgot about more designs than y'all trying to put together right now, man. That's the greatness that's in front of you guys right now, you know?
Oh man, nah, that's wonderful. I appreciate you having me though today, man. It's a blessing.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. So before we get started, big salute to Jonathan Riley and the folks at Portland Sneaker Week and Better Marketing, for making this happen. Yeah, man. Tell me about y'all's relationship, how you guys met and what that's been about for you.
Oh man, I met Jonathan first Sneaker Week. It was like 2 years ago now. Like, that's Herbert's right hand man.
Word.
And I seen them like Herbert's over marketing at Pensole. So seeing Jonathan come through and hearing what he's done at Nike and like him venturing off, like we having a conversation at Pensole, and he's one of those brothers that he knows what he wants to do, and he has an eye for forecasting and connecting the dots.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation. I was like, man, Jonathan, like you got it together, bro. Like, and anything I needed and any help I needed, man, Jonathan was willing to help me marketing wise, because in my past, like that's been the weakness, with design and like trying to share it as an introvert. And Jonathan was that guy, like, yo, this is dope, man. I'm gonna speak for you. Like, you're gonna be quiet, I'll be loud. Like,
yeah.
So Jonathan's been just a good individual, man. Like sharing thoughts and elevating thoughts, and always willing to work and help you get better. So Jonathan's a brother.
Yeah, man. Those are the type of people you gotta keep around, man. You gotta make sure you cool with that dude and build a relationship, man, because he's gonna take things to the next level, man. So it's dope for me to be able to meet him and see what he's been doing in such a short amount of time. What Portland Sneaker Week has grown into, man. It's amazing to see.
Great community, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about for the culture, man, and Jonathan and Herbert was always talking about community.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand it just takes a village to make something, a momentum or a thing like Sneaker Week continue to happen. It's like a lot of hard work in the background that the boys are really putting in, and I respect it.
Yeah, that's a fact. So if those that don't know, Portland Sneaker Week here in 2020 is August 7th through the 14th. And Sneaker Week, basically, it's a like what Chris is saying, like it curates an organic experience that brings people together, creates community. So it brings like sneaker enthusiasts, industry influencers, aspiring creative professionals, all to Portland, the sneaker capital of the world. And if y'all don't know, we got Nike in our backyard. Adidas is like 15 minutes from my house here in North Portland. What else? We got Columbia Sportswear,
Under Armour.
Keen. What's that?
Under Armour.
Oh yeah, Under Armour. Yeah, they moved here not too long ago. So yeah, you got all these brands right here in Portland, and what better place to have a sneaker week, man?
True.
No doubt. So before we get into your story, Chris, tell folks. I've told them a lot about you, but tell us what we don't know. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what's a typical day in the life of Chris Dixon.
Oh man, I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, man. Home of the Dreamers
Mm.
in Fort Bragg, Army, military town. But nah, man, I'm a dad, man. I'm a designer dad.
Yeah.
The balance that I have, man, just having a family and then doing what you love it's almost like you can't have a better life if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a designer when I was a kid. Actually, I wanted to be an inventor. I always wanted to invent. I thought the whole George Washington Carver, him inventing as a black man, it intrigued me as a kid when we was learning about our Black history and the little bit that he gave us. Like that was the thing that intrigued me the most. Like the art side and creating something that was never there.
Mm.
So yeah, that was when I was a kid. I always wanted to be an inventor, and then the whole sports thing, having a big brother, seeing him pick up the ball, like I was drawn, but he was balling, so I want to do what he did. So I started balling,
Yeah.
and that became the goal too. But kind of intermingled, man, just because of what we watched on TV in the golden age. That 90s basketball was just insane.
Couldn't go wrong. If you had the chance to witness Jordan, man, like there's no comparing, and a lot of people, with all due respect, they want to compare LeBron, but it's just different. It's different, man.
Different. It's truly different. And I feel like I've been in a great spot to where I was able to see like Magic, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, like all the greats like coming up as a kid. But people, I don't know. I also like feel grateful because all the shoes that we like, they were like the first of the
Right.
innovation like age, and getting to see that and being inspired from that led me to start drawing.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
And then you from the Ville, so you and Cole is tight, right? That's your man's, huh?
Nah. Cole was. I went to this private school for a little bit, and Cole was actually like in the grade below. He was in that school, but I didn't know him. My friend Corey Johnson, that was like on my high school team, he knew Cole.
Mm-hmm.
But we played against Cole, Terry Sanford, man.
Yeah.
When I was in 12th grade, he was in 11th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was the
nice?
Ville. Yeah, he can play. Like if you're in the Ville, you gotta be able to play basketball, man.
Oh, okay. That's how it is out there.
Yeah, bro. Like you gotta hoop, or you're gonna be into something else. But we had some crazy talent in Fayetteville as far as hoopers, man. Like if we had all the social media that we had now, there'd be so much more talent that you'll hear about coming from Fayetteville. Yeah, but that was a lifestyle, man.
That's a fact, man. That's how it was out here in Portland, man. Like if you weren't balling, like who are you? Like I didn't. You just, especially as a young black boy growing up in Portland, like I knew everybody from basketball. Everybody out here, especially like the SEI camp. I don't know if you heard about that. I don't know how long. Yeah. So like if you didn't go to SEI camp, like I really don't know who you are, and you're not significant out here. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different now though, man, because I be looking around and like everybody was balling at Irving Park, in Northeast Portland all the time. And so they're starting to bring that back, but balling in the park, that was just a way of life. And nowadays kids, like, they playing video games, and
Yeah, they playing
you know
2K at the park.
they playing 2K heaviness, and we
At
didn't
the
have that
park.
luxury of having that dope game to really throw ourselves into. We had to play for real to get that rush. But now you got video games that can give you the same thrill. So it's a little different out here, man.
That's true, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little different. But so yeah, man. I mean, you kind of took me right where I wanted to go, because you talked about the beginning, and you said George Washington Carver. Was there any designers? Because what I think about is, growing up, we, like what we were talking about before, we started recording, just East Bay and reading through that. And we always looked at the shoes, but as a young black male, like, I didn't think of, this is what we do, or this is what we can do when it comes
Right.
to designing shoes. So what sparked that thought? Like, when did you start thinking, yo, I'm gonna start actually designing, I'm gonna get into that? Because that
Man.
would never come across my mind.
So I was doing that like in seventh grade. I started in seventh grade because I couldn't get the shoes that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I started drawing them, and then like it was like ninth or 10th grade when it was, I think it was ninth grade, 99, like when the Flight Closet 1 came out. And my homeboy James wore that joint, and it's just like, I looked at it, I'm like, yo, who did that? Like,
Mm.
somebody had to draw this, like, because I was drawing them, and it sparked that thought, like, maybe I can like figure out you know, who did it. And what's that, Nike Talk? So I didn't have a computer at the house, so I went to the library and looked up Nike Talk, and one of my homeboys, I think his name was Irvin. He a beat maker,
Mm-hmm.
but he put me on the computer like, yo, you can try to find these people, like you can send like Nike your designs.
Yeah.
But I had to figure out who did the Flight Closet 1.
Mm.
Found out it was Eric A. Barr, and they had some of his sketches in there, and it was like, yo, I want to do that.
Mm.
That was the first time I actually seen like a person, or they, besides like what they show us in like the East Bay magazine, or what we see in the Vibe magazine or Slam magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the first time I got to see behind the scenes of somebody actually sketching the shoe.
Mm.
And that's when I was like, man, that's what I want to do. Went to my guidance counselor, like, how can I be a shoe designer? She looked at me like, a what?
Right.
You want to do what?
Right.
How about X-ray, radiology?
Oh.
You
It
know,
was like, there's like, just get a good job. This pays well.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, it kind of deflated from like that point of view of asking like somebody in school to just like, I just kept doing it because
Mm-hmm.
it made me feel good,
Mm.
until I started washing cars and cutting grass to get that extra money to buy shoes. That was like, my satisfaction of that, Emmitt Smith, or that Barry Sanders joint that just dropped, or the penny that just dropped. Like, I'm gonna just sketch them out, and I got them all, in my sketchbook.
So after they would drop, you would start sketching and just do your own iteration of it?
Oh yeah, so my friend Ronald, man, he was a little spoiled kid,
Mm.
and he used to get them all. You know what I mean? He was
Oh,
on
man.
out, and I used to see him like, damn, them joints would look good if they were like in blue, and I sketched them in blue. You know what I'm saying? Or, yeah, it was just that type of vibe.
So you was remixing them early.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah. Putting a little. I had like marker paint.
Yeah.
I used to switch the swoosh on them, like put the red swoosh on them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I had like an AU team that I ain't have like, I couldn't get another pair of shoes, so I just fitted them.
Just customizing on the fly.
Yeah, my homie's like, man, your mom gonna whoop your butt, man. She finds you painting on the shoes. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's good, bro.
It's funny because my son, he's kind of into that. So he took some LeBrons of mine. Hey, Lodge, grab them LeBrons you painted. So he took some LeBrons of mine and just painted over them. And I was just like, okay, you got a little creativity to you, man. So do you come across that where like, kids ask you about customizing and painting shoes? Like, what would you say to them if they wanted to do that?
Man, you know what's cool? Like my daughter Jade, she comes to work with me. Like, sometimes. Like when I first got here, I had no babysitter, so she had to come to work with me. And you know, Suzette, M Labs instructor and founder, the M Lab, we have materials and colors, and that's what that studio is about. They used to spend time in there, man, and she started understanding what colors and materials and like doing colorways are about. So, you know, I started doing little sketches and she'd do the color. And that's a good way to like show them like storytelling and like, you know, she loved like unicorns. So she'd do unicorn colorway, and then she loved cotton candy, so she'd do a cotton candy colorway. And then get the Mario Brothers, and then like it's a good way to like let them creatively express themselves. Through color, and color is so easy because it's so elementary. So where all you got to do is provide the lines, and then they provide the color, man, and it's rewarding to see like your kids' creativity.
That's dope.
Like, man, like you come up with that, like oh snap, like it make you want to show it off. So
let me show you what he did. I don't know if you can see it. So he took these bronze and he painted over them. You know
yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's the story behind him? Did he have a little story?
Lige, come here, man.
Little inspiration story?
That's a good question. I didn't even ask him.
Like some outer space, some NASA popping in there.
Yeah, man. What's the inspiration behind this, man? What's going on?
I didn't really have
Come on, come closer to the mic.
I didn't really have one.
You didn't really have one? What was going through your mind? Break it down.
I wanted it multicolored. And I forgot what shoe I was modeling it at. Yeah, so kind of like the swoosh and stuff, that's like space theme. And then
let me see. Let me show it as we, you know what I mean? So the space, we got the space theme.
I felt a space vibe in there, man. I felt like little planets, little swoosh planet.
Okay.
I can dig it.
Just these colors is my two favorite colors.
Are your favorite colors?
Yeah.
Okay. So he remixed them, and I call them the Air Dad bods. You know what I mean? So that's.
Oh man.
That's where I went with that. Appreciate you.
Can you put them back?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, man.
That's great, man. Like get them going early, man. Because
for sure.
That could be a side hustle, like when we start, you know, getting good at it.
For sure. Is there like for kids that, or just anyone that wants to get into that, is there a specific fabric that's better? Like, should he be painting on leather versus cloth or whatever?
I think Angelus have like leather paint.
Yeah.
And like acrylic paint can definitely work as well, but Angelus is the way to go when you're customizing like shoes.
Where
I'm not big on customizing, man. I'm more so like taking a blank piece of paper and like creating something with a dope story behind it. And then, you know, we'll eventually get to color material.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, man, let's take it back, because you were talking about storytelling, and so let's go back to 2010 when you won the Nike Future Soul competition. Now, I watched a clip. It was dope. It was like a 2-minute clip, but I watched a clip of you explaining your design of the Jordans, and you got to the perfs. I believe you said the perfs were in the shape of the top of the Dean Dome at the UNC Chapel Hill, and you used 24 perfs for the 24 players on Team Jordan. And it immediately made me think of Virgil Abloh's speech on the Lupe Fiasco EP. Have you heard that?
I haven't.
Oh man, you gotta hear it, bro. So it's a 5-song EP. I think it's called Home or House or something like that. But he has a track called Shoes. And so it's Virgil talking and then Lupe rapping. But on that track, Virgil said when he designs, his goal is to add emotion to inanimate objects. How does that statement resonate with you, bro?
Man, that sounds artistic. It sounds like this canvas is his canvas. You know what I mean? Virgil design, like, I can't look at Virgil as a designer. I look at him as an artist.
Okay.
Because of how he used his inspiration. And Yeah, it's hard to interpret an artist, you know, the way they do their art. Like that's his recipe, and that it could come out any different way, like depending on the canvas.
Mm.
Like just thinking about what he did with the fours and thinking about what he did with the ones. Like those are all different canvases, but it was
Mm-hmm.
his way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me about your process, man. You talked about storytelling. Um, was that a concept that you already understood, at an early age about design, or is that something that you learned? Somebody put you on some game? How did you come across that concept?
Storytelling.
Yeah, like storytelling in your design. Is that something that when you go to school that's already taught, or is that something that you always had in you, always had a part of you?
It was kind of naturally then, but I started learning with that future soul competition. Like started to break it down. We were signed mentor. My mentor at the time, he was he was sharing the process of how like you start with a brief, like why is this thing even like why are we designing this or who we're designing for? So with the future soul, I learned like okay this shoe that I'm designing is for a college athlete. And I was just like leaving school, so I know all about the college athlete, what they needed as a hoop shoe. So you start taking those problems that the athlete had, and you try to solve them creatively, and that's why like I mean I got detailed with like the perforation. You need perforation because it needs to be breathable, but going a step further and like looking at the aerial view of the beam dome and taking that shape and making that the perf, it it brought in another level of thinking and like storytelling. So the athlete could you know or someone from North Carolina can really appreciate that. Um, so yeah, the process was learned through those competitions and D. Wayne Edwards like after I won that like kind of invited me to Pensole, and that's when I like really learned like Pensole prep. That was like 2012, and that's when I really learned the art of storytelling and finding the consumer and targeting that consumer and making sure you have a story that they can relate to, and
Mm-hmm.
then the product will definitely can be bought by that person or someone else can relate to it as well. So storytelling is powerful, man. It's key within design.
Yeah.
You got to have like some purpose of why the shoe needs to exist because so why would we need another shoe? It's like a accessory.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, the story is powerful, man. It's like it's not just shoes. I'm starting to realize it's everything.
everything, everything
It's
in products.
Yeah, everything, man. And like my guy, my bro Tevin, he's a director, he's a film director, and he did a it was kind of like a mini documentary with Antonio Brown and for Nike. It was called Destroy Doubt, and it's the way that I noticed the way that he tells stories with the camera is just amazing. And that's one thing that he told me from a couple of years ago. Like, bro, it's all about storytelling. He said Nike wouldn't exist if they didn't tell stories. He
True.
said, I mean, we can say exist, but like they wouldn't be number one if they didn't understand the power of storytelling. And
Right.
and then I think about just, man, religion. It's about the story. Like the story got to be fire, to move you. And so, man, everything is about storytelling. And then when I listen to Virgil say that, because that EP just came out like 2 weeks ago, and then I heard you say that, I'm like, yo, that's everything, bro. Storytelling is everything. And then when you asked about my son's shoes, like, what's the story behind it, man? It's so important.
Yeah. No, we did me and Ian, Desktop Coffee. We did like a little talk with the students and gave them a sticky note
Mm-hmm.
and just told them to give us like their sneaker story within this sketch.
Mm.
And the coolest things like that we seen like a YouTube shoe, like press play symbol like all over the shoe because he loved YouTube. And it's
Mm.
just like, man, these kids really can tell stories um, just off this little sticky note. Um, but these thoughts are really cool. to where you have like now, 40 students telling their story through sneakers. So yeah, man, it's powerful, man.
Yeah.
Kids really share themselves through art.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids are like really quiet, but when you give them something to do artistically, they'll share who they are through it, which your son just did. Like he shared himself.
Word.
I can dig it.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
Bro, do you look back on your life and think about how improbable, you know, your outcome in life has been, because I think about Black artists, designers. Like once again, when I said like growing up, even though I grew up here in Portland, Oregon, like in Nike's backyard, um, just a Black designer, bro, that's not common. And just like you said, at your school, like your counselor was telling you, nah, you need to be more practical.
Yeah.
And then you were an athlete, and so, but it seems like it didn't matter what someone said.
No.
You knew what you was gonna do. And
Yeah.
so was it tough for you? Or tell me about like your process of blocking out the noise and just following your dream and your passion and believing in it, from the jump, and just persevering through that.
Man, yeah, it's that word improbable, man, is really it's a good word, because just thinking about where I'm from, like it's quote unquote the suburbs, but it's country
Mm-hmm.
with at least 15 of uh, my classmates, or the people that I used to catch the bus with, are no longer here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only 36. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was before I left the crib.
Wow.
So it's just like, man, you think about the crime and the things that could have gone wrong, and then basketball getting me out of Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
I never stopped drawing. Like anytime I had quiet time to myself, like I wasn't like studying or being a student. I was being a student of the art because it made me feel good.
Mm.
And then finding out I can actually do it for a living, it gave me a whole different perspective, because I wasn't at home no more. I didn't have those same distractions. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was at school. I went to junior college first, high school in Southwest Missouri State, and man, all we had was the ball. Then when we went back in the room, that was it. You know what I mean? Like I had sketching, like, I had drawing. That made me like I never put it down.
Yeah.
But basketball was like, oh, I'm getting good, so I can probably go pro.
Mm-hmm.
But as the years go on, like getting hurt and injuries, and really understanding like, yo, man, my legs they're not gonna last forever, man.
Right.
And knowing that these ideas are coming like too easy. It's easier than a jump shot.
Mm.
And this idea of our culture and the things that we experience through music and like art and fashion, like I have control of that through my ideas. Nobody can stop me from thinking these things and tell me which way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started to realize, I was like, man, this is really what I want to do. And that was like after my last college season, bro. Like, I tore my quad muscle like 2 years before that. And I thought, like, I would have rather got shot. That injury was like the worst injury ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if I can bounce back from this, like, I could still be a pro. And I did, and I ended up transferring schools. Went to Harvard University, and that school actually had a graphic design program.
Mm.
And it was amazing, like, yo, and I really, like, the coach was like, all for me being a designer, and like, I never had a student athlete to where you trying to learn like art, and to get an art education and still play basketball, because it takes a lot of time for both. And he really pushed me, and he pushed me in both levels. He didn't cut me no slack. Like, bro, we know you've been up all night, designing that that oil on canvas. I mean, painting that oil on canvas, but you got to be on time.
Right.
To practice. And we had a good season, man. We put a banner up, and then after that, I had like 3 offers to like go hoop in Germany. And man, before that happened, my best friend, like his first cousin was Serena Williams. Shout out to my man Mitch. And he was with her at the time, and I was like, yo, just like randomly, like, yo, can I show my portfolio to her? I'm trying to get in at Nike. She was the one, you know what I'm saying? So it turned into a yeah. So that was my focus, like
that's dope. Just like that, off the ask.
Yeah, just like that, like just being at the right spot and not being afraid to ask, because I'm that guy. I'm afraid to ask. So asking and her saying yes, it gave me another like focus. Like nothing matters but this, because that's where I want to go. And I just like, man, I'm gonna focus on graphic design, and I'm not going overseas and hooping them. I'm not hooping. I'm gonna be a designer from here on out, because I'm about to work with Serena Williams. Like that was my goal.
Right.
So yeah, I stayed in school another year, and then go overseas, and that was like the moment when I was like, I'm really going for this because it's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So did that materialize like instantly, or did it take time, or did that ever come together? You working with Serena?
Yeah. So that whole year, I was focused on like, okay, I gotta take a loan out because my scholarship is done. So I gotta figure out basically how I'm going. Like, I heard Serena say yes. Like, I knew I wasn't tripping. Mitch just sent me a whole bunch of Nike stuff. Like, I'm dripping. Like, I got mad sneakers.
Word.
That came from Serena, and now I gotta just like take this opportunity to show her what I can do. So every like project I was doing was like a sneaker project. And at the end of the year, man, her sister hit me up. It was like real life. I came home. Actually, Mitch's father passed away. We came home, and her sister took us out like for breakfast. And she was like, Chris, like, Mitch said he was working on some stuff, man. Let me see it. So, and I showed her some stuff at breakfast, and she was like, all right, I'll give you some insight about what's about to happen. So she told me, she gave me a brief. She gave me a brief, and I did like a whole campaign. I didn't sleep for like 5 days straight.
He was grinding.
Yeah, she was like, the next weekend she'll be in DC, and you can present to her. Wow. And I was like, man, so that whole 5 days, man, I went in. One of my best friends, Sean, that I went to school with, he helped me make sure everything was like perfect for that time. And I went up there, and man, we sat down in her trailer before her match.
Yeah.
5 minutes, dude. And that 5 minutes turned into 2 minutes. Like, you need to hurry up with this.
Right. Yeah.
And
you work 5 days nonstop.
Yep.
For 5 minutes, or maybe less than that.
Maybe less than that, bro.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, you got 2 minutes. You got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I got to my packaging design, man, and she kicked everybody out the trailer, man. And she was like, Chris, I don't have any power to get you at Nike, but I am starting a line of my own called the Nearest, and I would love for you to be the designer. And I was like, man, like, it happened. Like, this is happening, man. I'm looking at her like, I ain't never designed no women's high heels, but I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Word.
And then after that match, she invited us up to like her. It was like it's like a little pool party, man. Like an indigo pool at the top of the roof.
Oh man.
Some fancy hotel, and she showed me all her high heels, and she was like, "This is stuff I'm trying to do, like just create my own line that's luxury."
That's hard.
Yeah, that's when it began, man. That's like.
And what year was that?
I was still in Fayetteville, man.
Okay.
I was still in Fayetteville working at a furniture store, bro.
Word. It just took off.
Yeah, so that happened for a year. I was doing a lot of stuff for her for a year, just doing like more so apparel illustrations, like fashion illustrations.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily a lot of footwear stuff.
Okay.
But I took the liberty to start designing on my own because I was interning at another graphic design spot while I was working for her. And I ended up doing a dual heel on a high heel. And I sent it to her, man. And man, she went crazy.
See, I seen that. I was reading that it was talking about you were designing heels. I'm like, what are they talking about exactly? Is he really designing high heel shoe? That's hard though.
Yeah, that was one of the crazier ideas I had, and she loved it. Her team thought it was like too risky. But then, like, you know, I got too much of a good reaction from too many people to where I'm like, I gotta push this. Like, I gotta figure this out because her HSN line started to like blow up, and then nearest was like put on the back burner. So they had to go for the money. So HSN went, and then I lost my job with a nearest because they discontinued that line. But I still took that idea of the dual heel, and I wanted to make it happen. And that was a time like after I won Future Soul. Like my friend Courtney Finnegan, he seen what I was doing. He was like, man, we should do
that was a football player, right? Like DB?
Yeah, football. And he wanted to do that. So we took that as a passion project. And he was like, yo, you can do it, yo. I can do the groundwork with you. So I had to make this thing come alive, and that was the start of Christopher Floyd collection. I started to do my own because we started to see the problem with the high heels, with Serena, like she showed me a shoe and be like, yo, I paid $1,500 for this, but I can wear it for an hour before it's like killing my feet.
Yeah.
So that was like the thought, like after I got invited to, Pensole, like that was the thought to actually make a comfortable high heel shoe. That was the problem, and man, that invite alone was insane because the Future Soul shoe was supposed to come out, but it got knocked off in China. So Dwayne was like, the shoe's not coming out, but I invite you to like a Jordan Brand Classic game. And that's when he invited me to Pensole for the first time. And I got to work on that dual heel shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's just telling you this, it's a beautiful thing because I'm from Fayetteville, man. Like you either go to the military, you go work overseas as a contractor, you're in the medical field, or you selling drugs or in jail doing something you ain't got no business.
Yeah.
But just working retail. Like, and I had a dream of doing something simple as sketching a shoe on a piece of paper. It started to take me places, man. Starting to see these things unfold. It's just like, man, you do have to dream, like as cliche as it sounds, like you do have to dream outside of the norm if you want something different to happen in your life.
That's a fact.
And man, I felt like starting to see these things, like some of these things, like still, like I can't believe I witnessed that or experienced that, but it happened because I thought it would.
Yeah.
And I had the guts to not hold back and like, yo, that ain't for me.
And one of the things is like when you love what you do, it makes it easier, but it helps you go through like what some would call an uncomfortable situation. Like sometimes like you'll work a job or you'll be doing something that is like not necessarily for you,
right?
But you're doing that because that's a bridge to get you to do what you love.
Yes.
And so it's funny because certain people will be like, they'll be working a job. And I know a lot of talented people here in Portland that aren't doing what they love because it wasn't popping off right away.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, and it's like nothing is guaranteed, but you gotta, like, if you love it, man, there's nothing more rewarding than trying. Like, people think it's a failure if you don't succeed or if you don't reach your goal. It's a failure if you don't try.
You
You
know,
know what I mean? But if you try, you're gonna learn so much along the way, and you're gonna look back and not have no regrets. But if you try, honestly, you have a strong chance of succeeding if you just keep going. Like, the
right.
more you go, you're going to become an expert at doing that. And
Yep.
then it's going to be harder for you to fail the more you fail, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Nah, man, that makes perfect sense, man. And
Yeah.
that just like kind of morphs into the evolution of my story, man. Just thinking about like the whole Christopher Boyd and actually making that happen,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work out the way I planned it. You know what I'm saying? And I used to always be down on myself about it being a failure, but all the things I learned from that, like I innovated in Italy, like making a shoe comfortable and at the highest level
Mm.
of fashion. And it's like, it didn't last long, but it happened.
Yeah.
And I experienced all of that. And you can't take the experience away. You can only use it for the next chapter. And that's what I've been learning, man. Like, just continue to take what you've done and build off of it.
That's
Because
all you can do.
trying is hard, but once you try, you'll see some results.
Yeah.
Then you can try again.
The hardest part about trying is really just the fear.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just fear, because typically whatever you're trying, you're already good at. You know that you're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been eating you away on the inside for not doing it. So you're
True.
just trying is like, all right, I have to get over the fear while doing this. And then
Right.
when I get over the fear while doing this, then I'll start to flourish even more, because I'm already interested. I already love this. I'm already good at it.
Yep.
Now I'm becoming a master, you know?
Mhm. That's powerful, man.
Yeah, the mastery
Trying.
is where it's at, man. Just keep going. But like, you're at this point of your career. You've been doing this for quite some time, and like, what would you contribute to your success the most? You know, I mean, you had started 2010. You had the Future Soul, but then you came back 2016. Footwear News, Future Footwear winner, and in 2017, World Sneaker Championship. What sets you apart from your contemporaries? What's different about Chris Dixon? Why are you, one of the most world-renowned designers? What's different about you, bro?
It's hard. It's hard to give myself that title, man. But
You already won it. You already won it. They gave you the title. You know what I mean?
it's definitely different. It's definitely different because I didn't know until I was 26 that this was even possible.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to a design school for product design. I just I followed my passion, and I wanted it. So, you know, I think God put some people in my life to help me, blossom as a designer, as who I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can't take the credit for like my gift because it's God given. I think it's the other iron that sharpened my iron that helped me like be who I am today and who I am like trying to be still.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I reached that point yet. You know what I'm saying? After all of those things that we talked about, I still feel like the best has yet to come. It's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole constant development it comes in. Like after winning World Sneaker, I mean, I truly was on top of the world because it was 4 years since I designed sneakers for real.
Mm.
So when I was always in the dress category of these competitions, like on the hills. So to come back in 17 was like, yo, let me see if I can still do this. And it was like we were saying, trying word, having the idea of, paying homage to someone in Black history that I feel like doesn't get the credit, which was Pensole Footwear Academy. And I wanted to be there. So I wanted to create a story to capture that. And man, that I feel like that story and that shoe really gave me a whole different vision of what could be. And I was just like starting a whole new thing. Not Christopher Coy, but CD. Like CD is what the homies call me. But I wanted to create more so a community of people that have the same thoughts as CD. And that's like, having conscious design and creative, disruption.
Mm-hmm. Culture and diversity. I mean, I came
Diversity, yeah.
yeah,
That's heavy. And then
yeah,
just having these CD things and people being a part of a movement of getting better.
mm,
And that's, as a designer, as a husband, as a father, like, as a spiritual person, like just getting better
mm,
every day and then creating something with purpose. I think that's where I'm at now. It's just like, I want to create with purpose. Like, it has to be a conscious design.
mm.
It has to be like to where we know this product that I just created will help the next generation be better than me.
Word. Man,
So,
talk more about that, bro. I mean, cause you made a statement. You said, we're targeted to consume and not targeted as creatives. So talk about like what you and Dwayne and the folks at Pensole are doing and working to change that narrative.
man, that should be a shirt.
For real, it really should be.
Nah, it's like I said, the purpose, man. Like they as in the corporate companies, we're at this age now, or this time now that being black is cool, and now they figure, oh, we need to do what we need to been doing like a long time ago, like we need to put these people up front. These people need to be in high positions. These people, but we didn't know that,
Mm,
and all this time, and I'm saying we didn't know that because it's a lot of kids at these schools that don't know the opportunities they have in the footwear industry. All they know is that next cop. I'm gonna be the freshest because I got the newest, and they haven't shit. They've taken from our community as far as our culture and things that we do as a consumer. It's how people are designed, but we've been the target consumer for years,
mm-hmm.
and we haven't been the target consumer to actually learn how to do what you're trying to sell them. So I think now, like me being, my mid-30s, it's I can be the person that I needed when I was 16 or 15 to tell you, hey, bro, like I know you got them, Travis Scott's on, but just imagine you being the person behind doing the color for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's possible because I just helped someone get into that building.
Mm-hmm.
So that part of being a designer, I don't think I can get from working at a company because I'm getting to help the next generation of artists and creatives, figure out their superpower.
That's a fact.
Being able to use it at these companies, and like the companies now don't have an excuse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, let me not say that. Once you find out what can happen, you don't have an excuse no more.
Right.
Because you see Chris, you see all these other people that look like you doing it.
Precious?
Precious is the homie.
Okay, yeah. She was on the show, episode 101. Yeah, that's the homie. But yeah, folks like you, Precious, Latoya Kamara, I went to high school with her,
Okay.
and so it's just like, yeah, we can do this. Like we really got people here locally that's doing it big.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of people, Dwayne teaches us to like, each one teach one.
Yeah.
And I think it's our responsibility. I'm not gonna. If this is a room full of 30, my whole goal is to reach one.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what that change can do in a person's life to help them blossom into a whole new person. a whole new thought process of who they can be and what their future looks like. And I love that part about Pensole, man. Just being, just being an avenue of, get to that level that you want to get to. That's just like, I know that person who's hiring, so I'm gonna tell them like, yo, your work is dope. You should check it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool to me because I'm helping someone. I'm not just like helping myself, but also I'm getting to work with one of the people I looked up to. That's a legend in design.
No doubt.
That's amazing. You know what I mean? That's as a designer, trying to get to this level. Like I don't want to work for Nike. I want to work for, but being able to work with Dwayne is that word you had mentioned earlier, power.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man.
And I'll be remiss if we didn't break that down. So just let people know briefly, like, what Pensole is. We've been saying that, but we haven't really explained it, what it is and how it came about and what it's all about.
Oh, Pensole is a footwear academy. It's something that Dwayne said he wanted, what he needed when he was a kid, because he kind of found his passion the same way through a newspaper ad, drawing contest. So he wanted to discover, people like himself, to share the art of footwear design. Mm-hmm. And that's been the mission, man. Like just being a talent pool and teaching people that are interested and have a passion for design, showing them the process and all at the highest level, because we're working with different brands. So all the courses we do, we work with the top brands in the industry, and we create these programs that these students can learn, and then at the end they can present to the companies like firsthand. So you see a lot more people getting in through Pensole because of just the avenue that we have, and the connections that Dwayne has made to where you just don't get to talk to brands face to face. And this is where that happens. And we've been doing consecutive classes with New Balance. We've been doing classes with Puma. Doing diversity programs with Nike. We did the pencil and paper challenge with Hoka. That's been a success. So it's just like the outreach of touching creatives has been like the most rewarding thing in design. Not just like creating products, which like some of my products are not out there yet, but I got a lot of heat like cooking. But the give back part, like paying it forward before you actually get that, it makes it more rewarding, have an impact on the life.
That's dope. That's what's up, man. Well, shoot, man, we're gonna wrap this up, man. We're gonna get into the Fab Five. These are 5 questions that I ask all my guests, but this is gonna be a special version, a sneaker week edition of Fab Five.
Oh, snap.
So just 5 questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, just go ahead and spit it out. So, first question, you kind of alluded to this earlier, talking about your friend that had all the shoes, but what was the dopest shoe that you never owned, but you wanted in middle school or high school?
The dopest shoe that I wanted was Silver Bullet 97, Air Max 97. Man, I wanted that shoe so bad, bro.
Word.
I still ain't bought it yet.
What you mean, man? You got plenty of time and opportunity, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it's retro so many times. But that's the shoe that I'm gonna wear when I go to Japan. And I'm gonna buy it before I go to Japan. But that's the shoe though.
Word.
Air Max.
That's what's up. Question number 2. Did you ever own a pair of lugs, and why not?
I did not.
I know you didn't. Who wore lugs, man? Come on now.
I remember Lugs they had a magazine ad in the Vibe magazine. And it was an all-white lug with a clear bottom. And I don't know if you remember that. but
No,
it
I
was
know.
fire. The
You
photography
liked
was
it?
insane.
That don't sound good. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
No, man, listen, I didn't get them, but my homeboy Greg got them, and I'm like, he got them. I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't get that shoe because it was so bulky.
Oh, they were so bulky.
Fat, and like the camera angle made it look like super sleek. And when he got it, I was like, oh, that one did.
But look, I got a confession, bro. I did own a pair of lugs, man, because I think they were less expensive than Timberlands.
Yeah, they
And
were.
my dad, he wasn't buying shoes. Like my dad was not spending money on shoes and clothes for me. So like this was middle school, and I think they was on sale in Foot Locker for like $40 or $50. So I had these bulky, nasty, all black lugs, and they were so gross. But I just wanted the name brand. But I look back on it as like, man, that was a bad choice, bro. Those were some ugly shoes, man.
Get down with the loves. I had that one, but nah, that wasn't it for me.
Word. Question number 3. Out of Diadora, Asics, and Saucony, which of these brands have you owned the most, if at all?
Asics.
Asics?
Yeah, in high school, I came through. Everybody was doing Saucony. I ended up buying a pair, and I ended up just like seeing some joints, some Tiger joints. I'll switch it up. It started a trend at the school, and then like I was like, man, I fool with Asics heavy. You know what I'm saying? I started running in them. I did cross country for a time or two, and I jumped on them Asics.
That's what's up. I remember when Saucony's was popping, man. I had a pair of they was like navy blue suede with like the silver in the middle. Yeah.
Yep.
Saucony's was hard back in the day.
Yeah, that was they had their wave.
They did.
Every kid was getting them.
Yep. Question number 4. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of shoe designers?
Ooh, wee.
Top 4.
Top 4? Man. I got Avar, Eric Avar. Got Dwayne Edwards. Got E. Scott Morris. Said 4?
Yeah.
Ooh, wee. Man, that 4th one tough.
CD, I mean, you can put yourself in there. It's okay. It's okay.
I ain't gonna put myself there, man. I'm gonna do Ben Slamming. Yeah, Ben. Yeah, Ben is definitely one of my favorites.
That's what's up.
He does a Kyrie.
Are those some recent people that are still designing, or
Ben is recent.
Mm-hmm.
Scott is matter of fact. I'm gonna do. I can't only do that for. I want to do Jason Maiden because of just the storytelling, man. He's just a king of storytelling to me. As well as I'm gonna do Eric, D.E., E. Scott, and J. May. That's my mouth.
No Tinker Hatfield, huh?
No Tinker, man. I like Tinker. He definitely in my top 10, but
yeah,
it's a certain like it'd be like Tinker and D.E. if it was a battle for me, just because I didn't know who Dwayne Edwards was. And I was playing in all of his shoes. all of the Mellows, the 22s, like I was buying those.
Tell us more about his catalog.
Man, Roy Jones Jr., Derek Jeter, Carmelo Anthony, Michael Jordan. He made the first equestrian boot for Nike.
Wow.
The Goa Dome, the Nike boot.
Wow.
ACG joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dwayne.
Oh, that's hard, bro.
21, 22. And then all the Carl Canot stuff, man. Like when kids are like, that's all DE. So it's cool to see like this stuff is insane. then you got E. Scott. E. Scott did all of Mike Vick.
Dick's joints was hard, man. I think them came out when them come out, man. Them came out like in mid 2000s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Vic had this nice collection.
Yeah, that was hard, bro.
Yeah, he did Shaq shoes, Emmitt Smith shoes. Yeah, E. Scott was a beast. Then he did Klay Thompson. So he went with Anta.
What's his brand that he's with?
It's Anta.
Okay.
Chinese brand, but he's still designing, man.
Isn't Anta? Are they based in Portland?
Nah, they're actually they got a spot in Cali.
Okay.
In China, I think he's in China though.
Okay.
Yeah, Avar just did Penny, the phone posits.
Oh, the phone posits. Yeah, you definitely in the top. Well, top 4 if you got the phones, like, period.
Yeah, so I ain't even gonna go down his list, bro. He did the phone posits, the flight posits, and the pennies.
Oh man,
Gary Payton's. Crazy.
That's what's up, bro. Who designed the Deion Sanders?
That's
the original ones with like the gold on the side.
I need to find out who that.
Man, them shoes are so hard. To this day, them is like one of my favorite shoes that I've ever owned, man. Them shoes.
Those Diamond Turfs are hard to beat, man.
Yeah.
I lost my Diamond Turfs at the pool. They got stolen. Yeah, got a whooping.
I bet you did, bro. Somebody paid a lot of money for them shoes, man.
Them $100 shoes are hard to come by as a kid.
Right. Can't do nothing but give you a whooping. That's it, bro. All right, last question. Question number 5, man. What advice do you have for little black girls and little black boys that aspire to get into design but don't know where to start?
Well, man, constant development, man, is what I'm hoping that children can use to actually get better. So I'm creating sketchbooks so they can practice every day.
Okay.
And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take practice and passion every single day. If that's just a little sticky note, just a little thumbnail drawing, as long as you do it every day and you're practicing, you love it, you can't stop doing it, then your passion is going to take you to a place where you're going to learn more.
Yeah.
And constant development, that's what I'm trying to provide. Even through Sneaker Week, that's my little part of Sneaker Week. I just want to give some time, hour and a half for 3 days, and show some kids how to properly draw sneakers, and hopefully that that can help them form a good habit of drawing and doing something constructive every day, whether that's drawing sneakers or doing colorways. I want to be that person to provide some type of product to help them form good habits of drawing in art and design.
That's dope. So do you have the logistics of that already? Is that already mapped out for you, like where you're going to be and where folks can tap into that during Sneaker Week? Oh,
okay. So yeah, it's going to be through the August 12th through the 14th.
Okay.
Every day at 2:30 to 4 o'clock. And if you go to sneakerweekpdx.com, you can register. There's only 20 slots. Very limited. And basically, you register and you get that downloadable. We at 2:30, man, we can sip some coffee or a juice box, whatever you want to sip.
Right. My son ain't gonna drink no coffee now. Hold on.
You don't want kids drinking coffee, man.
Right? Nah, they don't need no more energy. They got enough.
That's basically the gist of what I'll be doing for Sneaker Week, man. Just hanging out and sketching, man. And hopefully we share some creative thoughts and some basic understanding of what sneaker sketching or sneaker design looks like.
That's what's up. So August 12th through the 14th, it'll be from 2:30 to 4 o'clock. We need to go to sneakerweekpdx.com and search, or how will we find it exactly?
Oh, okay. So it's you would definitely go to it's a calendar. you'll
Okay.
click, constant development, sneaker sketching,
Okay.
and it'll give you all the deets.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
But a specific time too. So if you on the East Coast or the Midwest, it's definitely 2:30 to 4 o'clock Pacific time.
And it's all virtual.
It's virtual. Yeah. So you can be anywhere and catch this. And then afterwards we'll be doing more.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll be doing more.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, man, I appreciate your time, man, and your stories, and just being able to hear you share everything that you went through and what has inspired you to get to this point, man. It's an honor, bro. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me. It's always good to know where you came from, so you can get to where you want to go.
That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact, man. Well, shoot, man, we about to get out of here, man. You have a good rest of your day.
Man, I will. Man, the sun is still shining here.
It is, man. Still a beautiful day, man. So if y'all in Portland, man, make the most of this weather, make the most of this sun, because y'all know it's gonna be gone. And when it go, it ain't coming back. So you know what it is. But all right, man, signing off. Once again, it's the Socks and Sandals podcast, where society, culture, history, and religion collide, and we unapologetically discuss our worldviews. Holla at y'all next time. Grace and peace.